Hello and welcome to another weekly update. Right back in the swing of things now, second week of January. There's plenty going on already. So lots to talk about. So let's get into it. So the first thing this week is a blog post I put out earlier in the week. And it's about people who, or anyone really, who has a Teams app in the App Store or is thinking about putting an app in the App Store. The place you go to submit those is changing. So it's moving to Partner Center. So Partner Center is the place where you go for Azure apps and I think some other Office apps. Anyway, it's the place all the kind of app workloads are moving slowly to Partner Center. So what that means is the current seller dashboard, which is what you currently use to submit Teams apps to the App Store, that is going away. So there's going to be a migration process that happens for any existing apps. They will be migrated over to Partner Center. And I've talked about this before, but the reason for reblogging about it is that now the move is imminent. It's all happening now, and it's kind of happening in waves. There's an FAQ that got released, which is why I know some of this stuff. But it's all going to be done apparently by the end of January. You don't really get much control over when it happens. You get told when it's going to happen, and I think you get told when it has happened, but you don't really get much control. You can't really delay it or anything like that. And really that's because there's kind of no action on you. You don't need to do anything. There's some things you can do if you want to beforehand, just kind of housekeeping stuff. I go through it on the blog, and there's definitely some things you might want to do afterwards as well, specifically with opening your app up to different regions. So if that's interesting, check the blog post. Interestingly, since I published the blog post, I've actually received my email to tell me that my migration is now scheduled and will be happening. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, and obviously I'll let you know when it's happened, because then I'll be able to do some screenshots of what it looks like, where the apps are and everything like that. So look out for that as well. All right, so something that happened, I want to say yesterday, maybe it was the day before. Interesting announcement from Microsoft around first-line workers. So first-line workers are a really big deal for Microsoft, especially around Microsoft Teams. I think Microsoft see Teams as a really good opportunity, if you like, or a really good place where they can help out first-line workers. And it's a real challenge for these these members of staff. They're really important to an organisation. They are usually the only part of an organisation that a customer sees or interacts with, and yet they often are not corporately joined to the network. They don't have their own machines a lot of the time. So yeah, there's a lot of challenges there, and so Microsoft have been using things like shifts in Teams and other kind of sort of targeted approaches to meet the needs of these first-line workers. And one of them that was announced yesterday is a feature called Walkie Talkie, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's the ability to walkie talkie other people, but using Teams. So this is interesting. So it looks like, from the screenshots I've seen, it looks like to be a separate Teams application that IT admins will be able to add, will be able to pin on the rail for mobile workers. Unsure, well, I mean, if it's a Teams app, then it's going to work on the desktop as well as the mobile, I guess. That's going to be interesting to see. It feels like probably it's going to be available to everyone, rather than locked to a particular set of users or SKU or anything like that. So potentially any of us can use this Walkie Talkie app. And it looks like you can literally send voice messages to in real-time kind of walkie-talkie messages to other users. In one of the screenshots, which was interesting, there were like multiple members. So there's kind of 8 people in a group, and then you can use the walkie-talkie feature to kind of broadcast to all of them, which is exactly how walkie-talkies work, which I thought was really interesting. It kind of changes how you think about walkie-talkies as well, because obviously there's good practical reasons for doing it this way. You know, it's one less piece of equipment to maintain, it's secure, it's digital, it's encrypted, it's going over your network. But actually, it takes away a lot of the geographical boundaries that walkie-talkies have. So I might be working, you could imagine 5 or 6 developers working from home, wanting to kind of trade messages really quickly with each other on and off throughout the day. Walkie-talkie might be a really nice feature for us. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm interested by it. I think there is huge potential for misuse and some fun, so I'm kind of looking forward to that as well. It'll be interesting to see how the messages, do they just come out loud if you've got the Teams app open? Does the audio just appear? Do you have to press a button to instigate the audio? Do you get like a voice message? Is that how it works? All of these things we will find out in the fullness of time. I'm interested to find out. So that's a kind of interesting new feature that launched. I put a link to there's a couple of different places that this launched. There's a Microsoft blog post. I'm going to put the link into the ZDNet one because I thought it was the best. But there's also a Verge article about it as well. You can go and find. All right, let's change gears to a different blog post. This one by Matt Landis, and it's about how you can configure the Microsoft Teams compliance recording bot using PowerShell. So, quick backstory on this. New capabilities Microsoft have for compliance recording. An IT admin can specify a policy and can assign this policy to various users. And what that policy does is that when that user joins a meeting, the policy will signal to a compliance bot, and the compliance bot will join the meeting and do the recording. So there is no actual first-party bot. Third-party ISVs can then build the bots that are instigated by this policy, can join the meeting and do the recording. The Landis Tech have one of these in their solution, and Matt is kind of at the forefront at the moment of exploiting this API in his contact center. It's really interesting to see what's happening there. So if any of that is interesting, I think you should go and read this blog post. He's got the technical detail of the PowerShell, but actually it's interesting as well to read around what he's doing with it in the contact center space and in that kind of compliance recording space. So yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's interesting. I mean, it's only available to Office 365 phone system users. There's a couple of kind of notes and important information in Matt's blog post. That's one of them I've noticed. So it's interesting that the recording is all server-side. It's not like a client-side recording, which is really good. I think it means there's nothing to download, and it works on all clients. It works on mobile, works on Teams phones, all these other places. So that's good as well. But yeah, so go read Matt's blog post about that because it's kind of interesting. All right, we are rapidly running out of time. If you want a long read around AI, and specifically AI in Office in 2019, if you think, well, I think what Microsoft is doing with AI is really interesting, but they announced this partway through 2019. The real value of AI is adding it to existing Office workloads and kind of sprinkling that AI around, enhancing different workloads. And they've got 6 examples of where they did that in 2019 in Office. So it's in things like Excel, PowerPoint, Word, Outlook, and some interesting features that you may not be aware of that now use Microsoft AI technology to do things that were not previously possible. So it's worth a read, if only for professional interest, but you may actually find time savers that you can use in your day. And finally, a quick word about Microsoft Ignite. So the Ignite tour continues, and next week it is going to be in London. So it's going to be on 2 days, January 16th and January 17th. There are over 100 over 100 sessions and workshops. There are over 355 Microsoft staff and MVPs attending as experts who can help you bring your problems, bring your questions, attend the sessions, go on the expo hall, see who's exhibiting, talk to people. If you're in the area, if you have a ticket, it is now sold out. There is a wait list, but it is now sold out. If you've got a ticket, it's going to be, I think, a really good event. These Ignite tours are really interesting, really positive. I'm really glad they're doing them again this year. I currently do not have a ticket due to my own misorganisation. I'm on the wait list, so my fingers are firmly crossed. If I am going to be there, it's going to be on day 2 on the Friday. So I hope to be there. I hope to see you there. I may just go anyway and hang around outside because there's still plenty of interesting people to talk to. All right, that's everything from me. I'm going to wish you a very good weekend, and I will speak to you again next time.